next reader here tonight, he is the leader of his story rock band, Matt Holdaway's Army. He is also the host of Radio Voices on Berkeley Liberation Radio, but most importantly, he is a former copywriter and webmaster of All Pro Wrestling in Hayward, California, Matt Holdaway!
Everybody, finally I get to come up in front of you. I'm so excited about this. Thanks, Bob. You're the man. So it's about time wrestling got its due as being an art, because, you know, according to Musashi, with the classes of an artist, wrestling definitely fits in. These people, they travel all over the planet. They work almost every day of the week. They get in front of people and tell a story with nothing but their body and maybe a couple of household objects, and they do it every night. And while they're doing their art, they get punched in the face. Like, I write, and if I got punched in the face every time I wrote, I wouldn't have anywhere near as much writing done. I'll tell you that. So, a big part of wrestling isn't just the wrestlers, it's the fans. And it's one of those things where it's like, it's their curse and their blessing. It's a double-edged sword. And like, some of them are a little bit out there. And so, this is Chris Jericho, Y2J, his book about meeting some of his wrestling fans. And if you ask nicely after the reading, I'll be happy to put you in a Walls of Jericho. I was going to take my shirt off, that was very inspired, but you guys would all gang feed me. Right, you can actually find a video about this online. I'd look for it, it's pretty darn funny. So, things were even stranger on the road. We'd arrive in a town like Hayden, Kentucky, where the consensus population was 200 and 400 people would turn up for the matches. People would literally come down from the hills to see the shows. I hate to stereotype, but this was pure deliverance type shit, and the evidence of inbreeding was impossible to ignore. I saw one kid with purple skin. I saw another with lobster claws. I know it's a cliche to say that rednecks have no teeth, but it's just plain creepy to see so many people in one place that literally have no chiclets. But they love to watch their wrestling. Hey, we having a conversation over there?
I'm trying to watch the goddamn show.
Yeah, you watch the show, huh? I don't know where they got their cash, but these people in these towns, they bought more gimmicks than fans anywhere else did. I was signing pictures at a table in Virgie, Kentucky, when a guy came up to ask me for an autograph. Sure thing, bud, I said with a smile, I'd be happy to. He looked at me with sleepy-eyed wonder, his gut poking out of his greasy wife beater, and asked with complete seriousness, how'd you know my name was Bud? I can't write this stuff. I was hanging around between matches at another one of our regular towns, Paintsville, Kentucky, when a girl came up to me and gave me a videotape. She stared at the ground while she stuttered and spit out, Chris Jericho, I love you. I made a tape of your matches for you. It's got all your matches that you ever had with Smoky Mountain Wrestling. Then she turned and split. I was honored that she put it all on one tape as a present. But when I watched the tape, it didn't contain any matches. What it did contain, however, was much more entertaining. The tape featured the girl with her hillbilly mountain family performing for me. And what a show it was. It began with her looking into a camera like a deer in headlights. She resembled Chris Farley dressed up as Meatloaf circa 1977. Was wearing a shirt with a rebel flag on it that said, you wear your colors, I'll wear mine. She began her dissertation and said, I made this tape for you, Chris Jericho. She always called me by my full name. We love you, Chris Jericho. You're my favorite wrestler, Chris Jericho. I really love you, Chris Jericho. She wiped the snot out of her nose. Then she became Annie Wilkes from Misery and started speaking gibberish like, well, look, here's a wag Google Gary. Please a gloo. She began dancing with the rest of her family. And they came into frame like Oompa Loompas. They who were all smacking each other's butts and doing the most bizarre version of the electric slide while chanting in unison, "Electric slide, electric slide, electric slide," like some kind of disco cult. Then a kid, who I'm guessing is her brother or husband, or both, explained how much he liked watching wrestling, then farted twice. Then his mother, or wife, or both, who literally had no teeth, patted him on the butt and commented on the fragrance. There was a bed in the middle of the living room, and on the wall behind it was 2 pictures. One of Jesus, one of Ricky and Robert of the Rock and Roll Express. Both photos were at the exact same level, which I'm sure was a huge honor for the Savior. Farley Loaf wandered back in and gave a shout out to Lance. "I like you too, Lance. Here's a wheelbarrow." And she started to push around a child's wheelbarrow toy while performing a massive booty shake. I wish I had more booty. I'm like a tadpole. It goes straight to my legs. But just imagine there's a booty shake in there. So. The camera pans to her left, only to find the fartster walking like a crab for no apparent reason. Then the camera panned into the yard where there was a battalion of rusted old vehicles, each housing a sad-eyed dog. In the background, trying his hardest to stay out of the camera range but failing miserably, was an old American Gothic-looking farmer who I'm assuming was responsible for the whole mess. The camera spun around, passing the amazing crab boy, trademarked, and settling on a lady with the worst Lloyd Christmas Dumb and Dumber haircut than Jim Carrey. She stayed in the shot long enough to say, "I love the Thrill Seekers. I want to have 2 kids named Chris and Lance and a dog named Storm." It was much creepier than it sounds, believe me. These people were either the greatest actors of our generation or complete lunatics, and I don't think they were thespians. Nor do I think they knew what thespians means. I still don't know why she gave me the tape. Did she think I'd watch it and become so enamored with her and her family that I'd be overcome for farts and crab walks? If I wanted to impress Jessica Simpson, I sure as hell wouldn't give her a tape of me picking my nose and doing the electric slide. Though I kind of bet she'd buy it. Somehow the video got around and became a cult classic in the tape trading circuit under the name Strange Kentucky People. If you want to Google it, you have to Google Strange Kentucky People in quotes and then Chris Jericho in quotes. But you can find it. Look for it wherever fine hillbilly videos are sold. And if you act now, you can receive a free Rock and Roll Express on a God Portrait package. Thank you all for